guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna make a video about my life here at DLI. I'm currently studying at the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California. I'm in the Air Force, if you've seen other videos I've made. And someone asked me to make a video about my everyday life here, how classes are, what a day looks like, all that kind of stuff. And so I decided to do that today. I guess I'll start with, I've been here at DLI since September 2017, and I should be leaving this year, October 2019. And honestly, when I first started here, it was really hard because you don't know what to expect. At least I didn't know, and there's not a whole lot of videos online about what life is like here, what people do and study, because it's a lot, you know, it's all military stuff, and so it's not like, I think a lot of people can't just talk about it. I don't know, or maybe you just don't have a lot of people talking about it. But someone asked me to do this, so I think this is a perfect opportunity to inform some people that are going to be joining the military and going to DLI. I know a lot of people do. They graduate people from here every week, like hundreds of people. So I hope this is a helpful video. So yeah, like I said, I started September 2017 and I've been here ever since. Life here is a little hard, at least it has been for me, because the weather affects my mood. So here at DLI, we are so high up, like altitude wise, we're really high up, and so we're also right next to the ocean, and you would think being in California it would be warm, but really here it's cold a lot, and it's cloudy and foggy, and that affects how I feel sometimes. So you have to be careful, and a lot of people here get vitamin D deficient, and so I've had to take, you know, vitamin D supplements, and I still do. They even prescribed it to me once, like it was like a pill that has like 50,000 milligrams or something like that of vitamin D, and I had to take it once a week. And a lot of people get depressed here, and people get suicidal, and because you're in the military, but you're also at DLI, and DLI life is not easy. You know, you're studying a hard language, you get a lot of homework, you have to do projects, and you're expected to keep up with your language, but you're also expected to be a good military member, whether that be Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, whatever. You're also expected to keep up with your PT, you know, running and exercise, and there's a lot of expected from you. And so you have to be careful here, not to let all that overwhelm you. And I know I've done that. I've allowed it to all overwhelm me. And I mean, you know, we're so far away from family, at least a lot of us are. I know some people have family here in California, so they can just drive up and see them on the weekends and all that, but a lot of us can't just do that. You know, my family's in Indiana, and then so people are far away. So that's a struggle, you know, having family be far away, especially when you're close to your family. And that's hard for a lot of people. And I think people here, because of that, being far away from family, you know, you're stressed. A lot of people like to date here. A lot of people get married here, and it's crazy. I've been to like 3 weddings already in a year. And people get married all the time. People meet, people date. It's a very common DLI thing, and I think it's because, like what I said, you know, the stress, all the stress is added, and a lot of people date, you know, that's the way they find, you know, their peace or whatever. And so there's that too. Not to scare anyone from joining the military and coming to DLI. DLI is definitely a good place to learn a language if that's what your interest is, and if that's what you have to do. I like learning language. It's difficult, but DLI is the best place to do it, because that's all you're doing. 8 hours a day, 7 to 8 hours a day, unless you stay after, so it could be 7 to 9 hours a day. Learning a language 5 days a week, and you also have homework every day, so it's not just those 7-9 hours. It's, you know, you have hours of homework that night, and you have homework on the weekend. You also have to work on projects, and so you definitely learn your language here. They drill it into your brain. And my language here is Pashto. It's spoken in Afghanistan. And honestly, I didn't pick this language. I didn't really know what language I wanted to study. I didn't choose to come here. It just kind of got handed to me. So it was really a blessing. I've talked about this in another video, I think. When I was joining the military, my recruiter just asked me if I wanted to take the DLAB, which is the test that you have to take if you want to get into DLI. And you have to get a good score on that to be able to come here. And I literally got a minimum score to enter. So it was really low, 104 or something. And I think if you get underneath 100, then you can't come to DLI or something like that. So, and I didn't really try on the test. I remember that someone asked me to talk about the DLAB. It's a hard test. I don't remember exactly what it is, what it consists of, but I just remember it being hard because I don't think they expect you to get every single answer right. I think they want to see the way you think. I'm so sorry. I wish I had more information about it. I don't remember. It was kind of a blur. The first half of the test, I was reading every single question and really trying to answer. And then the second half, I literally gave up because I was like, this is so hard. I don't know what to do. So I just started clicking random things. And I feel really bad saying that, especially on camera. But I honestly didn't care if I went to DLI or not. And I feel bad saying that because I know a lot of people work really hard to get here. And for example, I had a friend that I went through BMT with. He was in my brother flight. And his dad, I think, was in the military and did DLI and did the whole 20-year thing. And so this guy, worked so hard to get here. And then there's me that just, didn't try. I just started clicking random things because I didn't know, what the answers were. And then I got a 104. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to DLI, I guess. That's all I gotta say is that was a God thing. I think God wanted me here. I think that's the only reason I passed that test. And that's the only reason my recruiter asked me, do you want to take the DLAB? And the only reason I said yes was because, sure, why not? It all had to be God orchestrating that. I know He's wanted me here. He wants me here right now. I'm trying to say this. I know I am where I need to be. There we go. So yeah, the DLAB, it's hard, but honestly, preparing for it, I don't think you can. I don't think there's oh, you have to study this or study that. It's not, I don't think it's really like that because I didn't study. I didn't find the material to study beforehand. So just go in and don't be like me. Try your best the whole time. And honestly, don't sweat it. I think they'll let you retake it. And if you don't do well, there's other jobs in the Air Force. Don't worry, you'll be fine. So yeah, I passed it and then I came to DLI. So let's see. So I'm going to talk about a typical day here at DLI. So I wake up, everybody wakes up different times, and being in the Air Force, we don't have to do exercise in the morning. I know the Marines do in the morning, and I think Navy does too. Maybe it's Army. I don't know. I'm confusing it. 2 branches, I think, do PT in the morning, and then the 2 other branches do it in the afternoon. So, so I wake up at, let's see, what time do I wake up? Anytime from 5:30 to 6, I wake up. Because at 6:15, I have to go downstairs and check in for accountability. And that's basically where I let them know, I'm alive, I'm good, I'm not dead, I'm still here. You just let them know, and then you go back to your room. So I go to my room, and then, so I wake up, I just do, wash my face, brush my teeth, whatever, anything I want to do. And then I might do my makeup at that time if I have enough time. And then I'll go check in. And then I come back to my room, and then I just continue getting ready until 7 to 7, anywhere from 7 to 7:30. 7 o'clock really goes off, and so I don't want to go outside during that time, so I wait till 7:05 or something like that. And so I have to be in class by 7:55. It's a really weird time, but that's the time class starts. But I have to be in my classroom at 7:45 to turn in my homework online. And so I get there from like 7:30 to 7:40. And I have to like take a bus because it's so crazy here. It's like so many hills, and if you walk somewhere, you're gonna be out of breath by the time you get there. So thankfully they have buses here. A lot of people take the buses. Rarely do I see people like decide to walk to class. I'm like, wow, why? To each their own. But anyway, so I take a bus, I go to class, get there, like I said, 7:30 to 7:40, anywhere from that. Sometimes earlier if I just got ready super quick. So I get to class, and then I turn my homework in, and then I just like study for a little bit, or I read like my Bible or a Bible devotional, or listen to music or something like that till class starts at 7:55. And then because I've been here a while and I'm doing well in class, I don't have to stay for the extra hour after class. So basically there's 6 set hours, like, 6 periods that everybody has to be in class, first, second, third, fourth. Then we go to lunch, then 5th, 6th hour. If you're not doing so well in your language, like your grade-wise, GPA-wise, or if you just got here, if you're in your first 8 weeks of class or the last 8 weeks of class, you have to stay for 7th hour. And that's right after 6. You just stay another hour, which is just, it can be a lot. But it's honestly helpful for a lot of people because during that time, people get one-on-ones with teachers and they can speak in the language or do vocab review or things like that. But anyway, so the first hour at class is like homework, going over homework, questions. Well, what did this mean? What was this? Because our homeworks are basically like, they'll give us a text in that language. We have to answer questions, and then they'll give us an audio, answer questions. Sometimes we have to do an essay or like sentences using this verb or whatever. So we go over the homework, and then the second hour we start going over lessons. That's 2nd, 3rd, 4th is basically lessons for the day. Because there's a new lesson every single day. At least that's how it works for my language. It's different for every language, but for Pashto, you have a unit, and in each unit there's 4 lessons, and so we take 4 days to go over those lessons, and then the 5th day we take a quiz. And then after like 3 or 4 units or something like that, there's a big test on all the units. We just actually had one last week on like Thursday, Friday, something like that, about over 3 or 4 units. And those can be pretty hard, but it's okay. And then, let's see. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th for lessons, and then we go to lunch right after 4th. Some languages go to lunch right after 3rd hour. I think it's a little too early for lunch, honestly. I like that we have it after 4th. So go to lunch. We have a hour, 15-minute lunch. During that time, being in the military, that's when you usually like get stuff done. So we get this thing called an action notice, and that's sent out after 2nd hour. And basically on the action notice, it'll say if anyone needs to come see a sergeant, if you need to get something done, or this is what's coming up, we have an all call on this day, everyone to be here at this time, all that kind of stuff. So during that hour, people go see sergeants, go get stuff done. And so, yeah. And I usually just bring my lunch to class, and I could just eat it there in the classroom and get homework done. Or sometimes if I don't, I just come up to my room and I eat here. And there's also DFACs. There's 2 of them, and people go there to eat. And then after lunch, we come back for 5th and 6th hour. And so usually, typically, 5th hour is, let's see, it's like more review, but it's not on the day's lessons. It's like a separate kind of thing. They call it flow practice, FLO. I don't know why. I think it stands for something, but I don't. I know the L and the O stand for learning objectives, but the F, I don't know. Anyway, and so we just go over lessons in that hour, and then 6th hour is like our daily quiz, and this doesn't count against us. It's just a good way to see where you're at, and they're pretty challenging, but it's very helpful in my opinion. And so, and then for us, 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the schedule changes just a little bit. For 5th hour, we'll do a current event. Basically, the night before or the day of, like just earlier, you had to prepare a presentation on a current event in your language, in the target language. And so usually I don't really prepare it the night before. I should do that, but I don't. I just kind of do it the morning of, or like during breaks. Oh, because we do get breaks, but we're not just like studying for 4 hours straight. Between each hour, there's a 10-minute break. And so during then I'll finish it, or during lunch. It's a perfect time for me. I just stay in the classroom, I bring my lunch that day, and then I work on my current event. You have to present it for like about 5 minutes, but honestly, some people go less than that or over that. They just say a time, just like as a rubric kind of thing, like try to be around this. And then, so we do that on Tuesdays, Thursdays. 5th hour is for the current event. And then 6th hour is the quiz or something like that. If I remember correctly. I don't know why I forget. And so there's that. And then as far as difficulty with learning the language, it's different for everybody. I honestly have one of the easiest languages here to learn, and not because it's an easy language, but because we have a really good curriculum, really good organized lessons, really good teachers. And I know not everybody is as lucky here at DLI. Like I've heard a lot of complaints from the Farsi schoolhouse, how their curriculum is not as organized, or something about how their teachers are not very involved in their learning, or something like that I've heard. And so, and also their language, it's a Cat 3, I believe, which just means like a level of difficulty wise and how long it takes to learn it. So my language is a Cat 4, and Cat 4 means I graduate. It takes a year and a half to learn a language, graduate. That's how long the curriculum is. But for Farsi, it's a Cat 3, I think. And so they're a year long. And so they have much shorter amount of time to learn this language. And so that's what makes it more hard, is because, well, they have less time to learn it, and then not as many people graduate from that schoolhouse. But from POSTU, though, the graduation rates are so high, because we have a year and a half to learn it. We have good teachers, teachers that want to do one-on-one speaking with you overly in the language, or they want to help you pass, and they want to help you graduate. So, and then so there's that. Now, I wouldn't be scared about like the language you're gonna get. I would just come in here, get the language you're gonna get, and then do your best. But I kind of, I wouldn't say lucky, because I know it's not luck, but I really did get blessed with the language, because I feel like I'm thriving in it. I'm learning a lot, and the teachers care, and so I believe I'll graduate. We'll see about that, but I think I'm gonna graduate. And I just know other people don't really get that. A lot of people fail out of here after a few months, or a semester, or 2 semesters. And it's just because the language is hard. And also, for a lot of people, learning a language just isn't their thing. It's hard for some people. Like for me, I wouldn't say I'm a language learner. I'm not. It's hard for me. It comes much harder. So for me, I have to put in more work than other people. But the only reason I've been able to do so well recently is because I got recycled, and that was due to medical reasons, but I'm fine now. I was in semester 3, which is the last semester. There's 3 semesters in our language. I think each language actually has 3 semesters, but they just like shorten it. If you have a year-long language, then you just make the semester shorter. But for us, a semester is about 6 months. Yeah, that makes sense. 6 months. 5 to 6. And so I got recycled, and so I got taken out of class. For 2 months, I was not doing anything. I wasn't learning a language. I was just kind of like studying what I had already learned. And then I got put back into class. And where I got put back in was the beginning of semester 2 with another class. And so I've had a lot of review. I've seen all this material before. I've taken all these tests and done these projects. And so really I'm able to do well now. And before I got recycled, when I was in the old class, it was hard for me. I just remember being one of those people that struggled. Now, you wouldn't see that in my grades, so that's a blessing. But I always felt like I was struggling, because like in the class, when we go over a really hard text or an article, all in the language, you know, I was one of those people that couldn't remember what a word meant or what this is trying to say, or I'm just having difficulty. And I think a part of it was because how much stress I was going through, how overwhelmed I was, and I was letting things get to me. But now I'm learning not to let things get to me. I'm like just letting go. Okay, I don't know what that word means. That's okay. Like blah blah blah, things like that. So I think mentally and spiritually, I'm doing much better now to learn the language. And it helps that I've already gone through all this. Now, when we get to a new lesson, and a lesson I've already done, it's not like I remember everything. Like, oh, I remember all this. I know what this all means. Like, I'm still learning new things, because there's a lot of things you forget. Because every day you're being taught new information. Like, this is what this is, and this topic. We're learning about economy and the government and all this new stuff. And so you forget a lot of things. So going through it all over again is a big blessing, because I think I'm gonna really do well at the end of the course test, which is called the DLPT. So I think I'm gonna do well, just because I'm reviewing everything. And my new set of teachers, they are so kind. Like, the Pashto teachers are really nice. So I hope that whoever's watching this, and if you're gonna go to DLI, I hope you get put into Pashto. Not like, you know, not to like brag or anything, but it's a good language. So yeah, so that's that. And then I wonder what else I can talk about. I talked about the daily thing, how long you might be here, what it looks like at the beginning when you don't really know anything. One thing I will say, this might not apply to everyone, but when you if and when you do get here, but really actually when you get to anywhere new, don't let people like intimidate you. When I first got here, it was all so new. I had just gotten out of basic training. I didn't know what to expect, and I was scared. And when people have been here a long time, like I've been here a long time, when people are here a long time, they start to get cocky. They start to get like, oh, I'm so cool. And all these new airmen or new military members, they just got here, they don't know anything. And so when I first got here, I was made fun of a lot. Me and anyone I was hanging out with, or like just really anyone that's new. You know, the people that have been here a long time can tell when you're new. And so they pick on you when you're walking by them, they say things, and really I was like, why are they doing that? Like, they were new at one point, you know, they had just started here at one point. Like, what, you've probably been here like 6 months, a year, okay, like good for you. I didn't say any of that. I just thought it. I was like, there's no reason to be mean. And so I think it's just like a military thing maybe, but don't let that intimidate you. Like, if you're that kind of person, some people don't let it care. They just like let it slide. I'm like, whatever. For me, I let that like affect me, and I was already stressed because I didn't know what to expect. And then you have these people that aren't being helpful. They're being mean actually, and making really rude comments. And so, like, advice, don't let that get to you. If they say that, maybe even say something like, why do you have to say that? You were new at one point. Like, maybe if you're bold, maybe you should say something about it. But it will pass. You will get to a point where you've been here a while, and then you don't worry about, oh, what to expect, because you just know what to expect. So yeah, don't let that get to you. Just like do that and keep walking. And I think a big reason they can tell you're new, well, this is a big reason they can tell you're new, is when you're wearing the uniform after duty hours. Because for the first month when you get here, you're in what is called phase 1. It used to be called BTP, but they changed it to phase 1. And basically that means you just got here, and for a month you are only allowed to wear your military uniform or the PT uniform after duty hours. Actually, no, I think the rule is you're only allowed to wear that if you're on your way to the gym or back to your room from the gym. And then other than that, you have to wear your military uniform for a whole month. And during that month, you can't go off base, you can't go do anything fun. You're stuck here. And I think it's just the worst thing because you're new, you don't know what to do, and you have to wear the uniform, and then you can't leave, you can't go to the beach or go to stores and go out and with friends. Like, you're just stuck here. And so it's hard. I think, in my opinion, at least, it was hard. But try to make friends, like be kind with people, like especially in BMT. You're probably not the only one coming to DLI from your flight. I was forgetting what that is. Flight. There we go. So be friendly with those people. Like, you're probably gonna come here together, so keep talking with them. Go to the DFAC together. Go work out together. And if you just don't happen to have friends, that's okay too. It's okay to be alone. And I know for me, like, I can't always be alone just because, like, I get in my thoughts or whatever. So I have to, like, go out and do something or maybe meet with a friend and then especially for me, my faith is so important. So I have to consistently have that connection with God and be in conversation with him, be reading the Bible, the word, and listening to worship music. I have to have that connection with him for me to, like, have peace inside. And then after all that, then I'm okay, you know, socially or mentally or whatever. But like I said, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to just have one friend, two friends. You know, a lot of people have, like, groups of friends and all that. That's okay if you're not like that. I would say, like, I would encourage you, if you're not Christian, maybe, like, seek it out because it's helped me so much. And I know it's, like, in faith, it's not always about you, really. Which is a hard topic to go over because when people go into faith, they're really expecting it all to be about them, I think. Which for Christianity, at least, it does help you a lot. Like, for example, God gives me peace. God gives me strength and wisdom, and he lets me, you know, walk in freedom. But a lot of it is to, like, what I do for him, and so I worship him and I let the glory be for him. I do things that honor him. And so it's a relationship. It's not like a religion, like where, oh, you have to follow a set of rules, and if you don't, then God's gonna smite you. Christianity does not work like that. And if you've ever heard from other Christians and they've said things like that, that's not true. That's not what the Bible says at all. So that's helped me a lot here at DLI, you know, going to church. And in that first month when you're in phase 1 and you can't go off post, there is a church on post. They do a Catholic service and they do a Protestant service. And I think there's also other religions here. Like, there's, like, services for them. I think Hinduism might have one, something like that. So there's stuff here, and I would encourage you, seek out, go to church. Because even if you're not religious, going to church here, I've seen a lot of people that are not religious, and they just go to church because they're lonely and because DLI is hard and they don't have friends, and so they just go to church on Sunday and they meet new people and then they get connected, and then sometimes they become Christian, and then sometimes, you know, they just don't. But I do encourage you, if you come to DLI, to go to the chapel, and then once you can get off post, you can either go into the chapel, or you can find the new churches. So many churches around here. I started going to one off post. It's near the airport. It's 15 minutes away from post, and I'm actually gonna be going soon. I should be going, because today's Sunday. So yeah, I encourage you to do that, because DLI can get hard, and like I said, don't let it overwhelm you. Just do a lot of self-care while you're here. Like, take your vitamins. I meditate, I pray, I listen to music, I make sure that I'm taking care of me spiritually, mentally, and physically. I work out, you know. I encourage you, work out a lot. Go to the gym. The gym is free for us. It's a really nice gym too. Go to the track, walk around, like, make sure you're taking care of yourself, and make sure on your weekends you're not just devoting the whole weekend to the language. Like, that's just gonna burn you out. Make sure you set a lot of time on the weekends. Just put the language aside, call family, read, listen to music, rest, go out with friends. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's a really big deal here. And even during the week, like, I'm not just, like, studying the whole time right after class. Like, after class, I do exercise at PT or whatever, And then after that, shower, I get home. And if I haven't done my homework yet, I make sure that I do my self-care first. Like I showered, did I wash my face, wash my hair, like read something, like just relax, and then I'll start homework, or you know, whatever the day looks like. Sometimes I do the homework during lunch, or sometimes right after class, and then I relax the rest of the night. But just basically the main point is make sure you're taking care of yourself. A lot of people here get so overwhelmed because all they're doing is studying the language, and I'm like, that is not a good idea. Because I know we all want to pass, but honestly, the best way to success is making sure you're taking care of yourself first. And then, then study the language. Make sure you're at a good place mentally, physically, spiritually, and then enter the language. So that's all my advice. That's all I think I have to say for DLI. I hope that this answered some of your questions to the person that asked me to do this video. If I left something out, if there's something you want me to talk about specifically, I can do another video if you want me to, or just answer you back in an email, or just let me know. So this is all it, I think. That's DLI, and thank you guys so much for putting up with this really long video. Right now it's like 32 minutes. I might have to cut some stuff out, or maybe just post the whole thing, I don't know. But thank you guys for watching to the end, and I hope you guys will subscribe, comment, like, let me know what kind of videos you guys want me to do. If this was helpful, just let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video.